I'm tryna put you in the worst mood. P1 cleaner than your church shoes. Really point to just to hurt you. All red lamb just to tease you.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. Let's talk about photography versus technology. This is an interesting topic, and I get so many questions. A lot of my peers, a lot of people, a lot of you guys reach out and you ask, yo, I'm looking to get a new camera. What's the best camera in this price range? What's the new thing? What's these new features over here on this camera? Yada yada yada. And I find myself having to pull that conversation back. So almost always when someone asks, yo, I'm looking to get a new camera, the first thing out of my mouth is, why? What's wrong with your current camera? Or for shits and giggles, what's wrong with your old camera, right? And I almost never hear a good response to validate staring that person in the direction to buy a new camera. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm probably the worst offender, and I want everything new and shiny. If I don't buy something every 2 months, I start to itch. So I know what it's like to just want the new thing, want something new. But I want to put this conversation out there, and I want you guys to join in the comment section. Yes, photography, these cameras that we all use are technology, they're cutting edge, but I want to really emphasize that it's not quite like the other technology, and specifically I'm talking about gadgets and computers and laptops and tablets and smartwatches. Cameras are not like that, and I feel like people wrongly view cameras in that conceptual idea, and it's not right. And there's so many reasons that go behind it. And I think there's so many people out there that are misguided, and they spend a lot more money than they should be spending because they don't understand this. So let's look at a phone, for instance, something like an Android phone. If you don't buy a phone every 2 years, chances are the experience that you're going to have with that phone, a 2-year-old phone, is going to be terrible. And this is not because all of a sudden the phone realizes that today is its 2-year anniversary, its 2-year birthday, and it says, nope, I must self-destruct because you need to go and spend money. This is because the operating systems that are ran on these phones are constantly being updated. They're constantly being made bigger and bigger and bigger. They get more bloat as weeks and months go by. It's not only a thing about the files and the temp files you accumulate. It's more so about the updates that are driven there, and it's about how heavy and more graphically intense and processor CPU intense the applications become, because the newer stuff can run things a lot faster. And when the new stuff can run things faster, developers take advantage of that, and you, the person with the 2-year-old phone, you sort of suffer. Let's look at laptops. Let's look at computers. Same deal. If you had a computer for 2-3 years, one of the highly recommended things you can do is to just completely reload Windows to make it brand new, right? And then, ironically enough, the minute those you finish downloading all the service packs, or we're talking Windows XP days, service packs don't exist anymore. But by the time you finish getting all the updates, it's kind of slow again, but not as slow. So much so that in Windows 10, there's this easy refresh mode where you can just refresh the thing by just hitting a button, and it even keeps all of your files just the way they are. So that's a thing, right? Cameras, however, totally not like this. Now, let's talk about the performance of a camera. I think the only physical thing you need to worry about in cameras, of course, physical wear and tear, but there's also the shutter. And the shutters, people keep count of how many pictures been taken with the camera, will let you know the wear and tear. But I still have not, to this day, seen a camera or heard a story of a camera that the shutter just stopped working. Very far and few. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. You get the point here. But what I want to emphasize is if you take a Canon T3i, which is the camera that we first started recording our YouTube videos with way back 4 years ago, and I go out and I buy a 50 millimeter lens, one of the newer ones. That camera is still going to take amazing pictures, because cameras, they have this thing where, and it's very important to understand, the sensor will always be relevant, right? And think about it, if you take up an iPhone 5 from yesteryear, iPhone 4 or 4S, you can still get decent pictures. Why is that? Because it's a good sensor. You can take a picture. There's nothing wrong with your sensor. And if you remove yourself from the mindset that, oh, there's a bigger, better sensor out there with more colors and more features, you will learn to appreciate the fact that the camera you fell in love with when you first brought it home is still that same camera. Now, the dynamic here that I think is super dope of photography that we don't get in any other part of technology is you can instantly make your camera better by buying a new lens. That almost doesn't exist. Imagine if you had an iPhone, you've been using the same iPhone for 4 years, and there was this thing that you can go out and buy, and it just all of a sudden completely makes your iPhone perform tip top, even as good as all the new iPhones on the market today. That would blow your mind. That, my friends, is what you get in the photography world when you spend money on your lenses. So if you feel like you're tired of your camera and I need a new camera, answer the question why. Now, there are some there's some valid points. So one of my friends at work, she has a T3i actually, and she went to a few photography courses and she got her photo game up and she's ready. And I wouldn't say she hit the ceiling with her camera, but I'm walking around with all these cameras around her, and they're all significantly smaller. And there's these features that she sorely wants, like the ability to send pictures directly from the camera to her phone, because her laptop, she has an older Mac and it sucks, and she's one of these people where she hoards her pictures on her card, and it sucks. She doesn't get her work out on Instagram, and her work is good, but she doesn't see it because her computer sucks, and it's just like Now, if she had a camera with Wi-Fi abilities, she would be so much more inclined to go out and shoot. She'd be so much more inspired. So for cases like that, I say, okay, fine. You need to get a new camera, because there's fundamental features that I believe all cameras should have, like Wi-Fi. You should be able to get that picture off of your card, your camera, whenever, however. Now, that's something worth upgrading to. Maybe the T3i is a big, and she's beginning to travel now, and she wants something small. Okay, fine. I think that's a valid reason. But upgrading from a T3i to a T6i, why? You know what I mean? Upgrading from a Sony A7 Mark II to a Sony A7R Mark II, why? You're going to be upgrading from an A6000 to an 8300 or 6300. Why? And I feel like even on the upper end of that conversation, somebody like myself, I went out and bought this Olympus because I sat down and I had some very tough conversations with myself, very specific and deliberate conversations. I wanted something small that I can carry around on me every day. Although my Sony A7 Mark II was small and I can carry that around every day, but the lenses got heavy because I have an adapter on there, right? So that started to really weigh on me. So I needed to find something small, and I needed to find something small with optical image stabilization. I needed the sensor to be stabilized. So in that case, that discussion is worth being had, right? And I want you to sit down and think to yourself, why is it worth it? And I really wish more people would stop looking at their cameras as old. It's not old. There's nothing old about it. I think cameras are the best aging technology that we have in today's world. Your camera's not old. Go out and buy a new lens. If you shoot with a 50 mil for the last 5 years, go out and buy a 35 mil. Different perspective. It'll breathe new life into you. If you've been shooting with a 35 mil, go out and buy a 85 mil. Go out and buy a telephoto lens, a 70 to 210. Change it up. There's so much more you can do. And I really go out and get a macro lens. You get what I mean? The same camera, same lens, same body. The same sensor, same body. With a macro lens, you will be amazed at the quality that your camera can produce. So yeah, I just wanted to get that conversation out to you guys, and I want to hear from you in the comment section below on what you really think about this. My name is Ramon. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check the links in the description below to all our other channels. I'm out of here. Peace. If I had to describe Lifestyles Defined, I would say it is a dream come true to have a platform where we can talk about the things that we love, and we can share with people who also love the things we love the way we love, and just have conversations that matter and go back and forth and grow as a community. It's been a pleasure. It's been a dream, and I just want to thank everyone that's involved for rocking out with us.